What if the Earth isn't just a planet, but something closer to a living organism? Not metaphorically, but literally, behaving like a system that senses changes, responds to disturbances, and stabilizes itself to keep life alive. Why does our planet maintain just the right temperature, the right chemistry, the right oceans, and the right atmosphere for billions of years when every natural model predicts instability and collapse? Is it chance? Is it physics? Or is it something deeper about how Earth works? This is the mystery behind the Gaia Theory, one of the most intriguing scientific ideas ever proposed. And today, we're diving straight into it. This is Mattermosaic, piecing together the universe, one discovery at a time. Today, we explore an idea that sits at the border of biology, geology, chemistry, climate science, and philosophy, the Gaia Theory. Born from the collaboration of atmospheric scientist James Lovelock and microbiologist Lynn Margulis, Gaia Theory proposes something bold. Earth does not simply host life. Earth and life form a single system, connected so tightly that they shape each other, respond to each other, and maintain conditions that keep the entire biosphere stable. You're not just living on Earth, you're living inside a world that might, in some sense, behave like a living system itself. To understand Gaia Theory, imagine Earth 4 billion years ago, a hot, hostile rock covered with volcanoes, lightning, and toxic oceans. Early life, mostly microbial, did not simply adapt to this environment. It transformed it. Microbes began pumping out gases, removing toxins, shaping oceans, creating minerals, and eventually releasing oxygen that turned the atmosphere blue. Life was not a passive passenger. Life was an active engineer. This raises a profound question. If life shapes the planet, does the planet also regulate life? Lovelock began by studying atmospheric chemistry for NASA during the search for life on Mars. He made a key observation. Mars has an atmosphere in perfect chemical equilibrium, meaning nothing is driving it away from its stable state. Earth, however, is in extreme disequilibrium. We have oxygen and methane coexisting even though they should react and eliminate each other. We have a stable climate despite volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, and fluctuations in the sun's brightness. We have oceans that maintain their salinity within narrow limits even though rivers constantly dump minerals into them, and we have a temperature that has stayed within life-friendly bounds for billions of years, even though the young sun was 30% dimmer. How is this possible? Physics alone predicts instability. Biology alone predicts chaos. But Earth shows neither. Something is keeping the planet in balance, so Lovelock offered a hypothesis. Life acts like a planetary thermostat. To illustrate this, he created Daisy World, a mathematical model. Imagine a planet with two types of daisies. Black daisies absorb heat and warm the planet. White daisies reflect light and cool it. If the sun brightens, more white daisies grow, reflecting heat and keeping the planet stable. If the sun dims, more black daisies grow, absorbing heat and warming the surface. Without intention, without consciousness, the combined effect of simple organisms regulates temperature. Life becomes a stabilizing force. But real Earth is far more complex than Daisy World. Here, bacteria cycle nitrogen, algae regulate carbon dioxide, forests help create rain, coral reefs buffer ocean acidity, plankton produce gases that seed clouds. Every ecosystem releases chemicals that influence climate, water cycles, and atmospheric composition. Volcanoes raise atmospheric CO2, but life pulls it back down. Oceans absorb excess carbon, and microbes in the surface waters release dimethyl sulfide, which helps form reflective clouds that cool the Earth. At every level, from microbes to forests to oceans, life modifies the environment in ways that keep conditions suitable for more life. This is the essence of Gaia Theory. It does not claim Earth is alive in a literal biological sense. It claims Earth behaves like a unified, self-regulating system. This idea was controversial at first. Critics argued Gaia sounds too teleological, too intentional, like Earth is trying to maintain life. But Lovelock and Margulis weren't suggesting purpose. They were suggesting feedback loops, natural automatic consequences of interaction between life and environment. Margulies pointed out that microbes run most of the planet's chemistry. They control oxygen levels, nitrogen cycles, methane emissions, sulfur cycles, and even influence the formation of minerals. When organisms thrive, they modify their surroundings. These modifications feed back into the climate. Over millions of years, the biosphere becomes intertwined with the atmosphere, the oceans, and the crust. This creates a planetary-scale network of feedbacks. When climate warms, forests expand or contract. When oceans acidify, plankton bloom or die off. When atmospheric gases shift, microbial communities reorganize, and each response stabilizes or destabilizes the system. Gaia theory claims the stabilizing responses dominate over long timescales. Evidence over decades has strengthened this idea. The stability of ocean salinity, the long-term maintenance of breathable air, the persistent regulation of carbon dioxide, and the endurance of life through ice ages and warming periods all point to a feedback-based equilibrium. Even Earth's magnetic field, which shields life from radiation, is influenced by the heat flow between the core and the mantle, which is affected by tectonics, which in turn is shaped partly by the distribution of life and sediments in the oceans. The system is interconnected beyond imagination. Earth scientists today largely accept a weaker version of Gaia called Earth System Science. It states that life and the environment are deeply linked and co-evolve, but without implying Earth has a unified purpose. However, some modern research, including complex systems theory, suggests that global homeostasis, self-regulation, emerges naturally from networks of feedback. This leans much closer to Gaia than traditional science ever expected. So, is Earth a living system? Not in the biological sense, but it exhibits properties usually associated with living organisms: homeostasis, resilience, internal feedback, and the ability to recover from perturbations. Earth might not be alive, but it behaves like something that wants to stay alive. Gaia theory forces us to rethink what a planet truly is. We tend to imagine planets as dead rocks orbiting stars, occasionally hosting life as a thin biological film. But Earth challenges this view. The air you breathe exists because of life. The oceans you depend on are stabilized by life. The temperature you experience is regulated by life. You are not separate from the Earth system. You are a component of it, a single thread in a vast interconnected web stretching across mountains, oceans, forests, ice sheets, and atmospheres. But Gaia theory also carries a warning. Just because Earth has self-regulating mechanisms does not mean they are unbreakable. Geological timescales allow slow recovery, but human industrial activity is altering the atmosphere, biosphere, and oceans at speeds far beyond what natural feedback loops evolved to handle. If Gaia is a living system, it is one we are stressing. If Gaia is an equilibrium, it is one we are pushing. If Gaia is a set of stabilizing feedbacks, they can only compensate so much before tipping points are crossed. This leads to a deeper philosophical question. If Earth acts like a unified system, do we carry a responsibility as part of that system? Are we stabilizers or destabilizers? Evolution made humans the first species capable of understanding Gaia. The next question is whether we will cooperate with it. This is Mattermosaic, piecing together the universe, one discovery at a time. If Gaia theory teaches us anything, it's that Earth is not just our home. It's our partner in existence, a vast interconnected system that has supported life for billions of years. Understanding it is more than science. It's survival. Subscribe for more weekly explorations of the mysteries that shape our world, our universe, and our place within it.